Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Um, Easter is coming up pretty quickly. So, I'm excited about that. And, tomorrow is the last day of school. I'm off on Friday. For Good Friday, which is usually the Friday before Easter. So I think it's a sort of religious event. I don't know if I mentioned that in one of my previous vlogs, but there's a reminder in case you guys forgot. Dust on the screen. So today, I'm kind of debating on which character story I'm gonna read from the wiki today. Took a lot of thinking. But, kind of debating between Ink and PJ. Like Paper Jam, but he's abbreviated as PJ for short. I don't know. To be honest, I'm still struggling to decide. I mean, I guess I can read Ink's, because he's the more popular. So let me open the wiki up real quickly. Ink Sans wiki, there we go. Okay, here is Ink Sans, created by Maybe. I kind of see the banner. Okay, so same shenanigans as with the last technically 3 stories, because if you guys remember, I read both Nightmare and Dream story in the last video. I'll try to read as slow as possible so that you guys can understand what I'm saying, and I'll pause at some points to commentate. So yeah, same agenda as last time. Here we go. Ink Sans is a sans variant created by Comiet, aka Maybe. He was a conceptual sans who escaped an abandoned and incomplete world through the destruction of his soul. Thanks to a paintbrush that fell into the void, he was able to gain the ability to create objects out of paint and ink. He now serves as the guardian of the scripts of the Undertale AUs. Okay, so by the sound of it, his soul was nearly destroyed, and the world he was in was incomplete. I wonder if... Okay, biography. Ink came from a conceptual AU that never got off the ground. He's the first and only character with a true soul. Yet despite his best efforts to improve and interact with the inhabitants of the AU, they never responded or showed any kind of reaction to his attempts. In a fit of despair, he destroyed his soul, accidentally causing him to stumble into the blank void. There he became an emotionless being, alone in the vast space of emptiness. Eventually, an ink brush, along with different kinds of paint from an unknown artist, fell into the blank canvas, each color imbuing him with feelings different from the last. After some time without color, though, he would revert to his emotionless self. Ink fixed this problem by filling vials with the colors that were splashed on him. It allowed him to pretend to have a soul so that he could feel it. Gradually, Ink used the colors from the creators to create the Doodle Sphere. Eventually, he stumbles upon a portal that leads to the source code where all the paints and colors go. It doesn't take long for him to discover their true purpose, to imprint the creator's emotions in the forms of Undertale fan work, AUs, fan arts, etc. Seeing that this, he concluded that, For him to remain in this fulfilling emotionless state, he have to encourage the creators to keep making and maintaining the creations so that the paint keeps flowing through the doodle sphere itself. Thus, to keep a steady supply of emotions for him to harness, he dedicates himself to being the muse of the Undertale creative community, while he protects the creations from those who wish to harm them, be it vandals or any other off-scripted outcodes. Ooh. So the paint he uses, like the paint that was there that gave him all these emotions. So apparently the fan art that we created gave the creators these emotions, or at least how do I explain this? I actually don't know what I was about to say. I'm forgetting everything. Yeah, this doesn't appear to be too long of a read. Appearance. Ink has black paint / ink on his right cheek. His eyes are usually a blue circle in the right eye socket and a yellow star in the left. He dons a long-sleeved white undershirt with a small brown jacket over it. His pants are overalls with the tops tucked into his waist. The legs are very wide at the bottom, with creases around the legs. He also has no shoes. Instead, he goes barefoot with a pair of leggings. He has a work belt crossing his chest with rainbow paint vials, which have heart-shaped tops on it. When Ink draws the vials, he gets artificial emotions. On his back, he possesses his most powerful tool, a large ink brush named Broomy. Ink Sans' eyes color change in the face of his emotions. And personality. Ink supports all kinds of art, like painting, literature, dance, music, etc. He's very passionate about art and likes to motivate characters and creators. He could change clothes on people just by using his brush, and he loves to create the kind of outfit they like. Even though he used art as a tool, no one saw his drawings or paintings. He is afraid of the color white, of absence of presences or shapes around him, loneliness, huge and empty spaces. Ink tends to get too excited about things. He happens to sometimes randomly vomit ink, mostly when it gets too emotionally shaking, whether from passion or shock. He also has a very short memory and will forget about different things, sometimes stopping mid-sentence to try and remember what he just said a few seconds before. This is why he takes notes on his scarf. This is a really silly note that I noticed in quite a few memes and animations involving ink. It's really funny. Ink does not appear as a perfectly well-behaved character. He can be inconsiderate, or even downright mocking and cruel with his opinions, and deep down he sees other characters as fake story characters, and not as creatures like him. He tends to be somewhat detached from his emotions, with him hardly having a proper social understanding. He's blunt in his teasing and mocking, just like in his ability to give support and to be kind. He's a mischief maker, and pranks are his guilty pleasure. Ink approaches enemies carefully. He will never try to attack them first, but will mostly focus on trying to discover their motive and talk them through it. Although he does come off as a jerk on first impression, he does know what to analyze to understand the issue, so he can brush people the right way and hopefully have them listen. Ink, in general, acts witty and proactively. In the long run, Ink is generally optimistic, has a sense of kindness and the more serious side. He objectively tries to reason with anyone and only follows who he finds his best friends. However, he has no soul and relies heavily on emotion vials. If he stops taking the emotion vials for a certain period of time, he will lose all emotion that he once had and is unable to do any sort of action, as shown in Underverse 0.1 and 0.3, Part 2. This doesn't matter though, as Ink intended to not use his emotion vials for his plan to revive his friend. Overall, this proves him as being villainous and selfish without the emotion vials. Abilities. With Broomy and his ink within his possession, he can perform feats such as ink hopping. Ink can appear anywhere in any AU of his liking from any kind of liquid. He uses them as ink portals. Creation. His big brush gives him the ability to create anything he likes and make it come to life, except for dead characters. Contrary to popular belief, however, he does not create AUs. Ink blasters. He can create gaster blasters that shoot ink that solidifies on contact. Script reading. He can read the scripts of all the Undertale AUs in existence, and thus knows the fate of all of its inhabitants. Relationships. Top Gaster. The Gaster of Undertop serves as one of Ink's many father figures, as he considers the Guardian as a part of his family. He usually has talks with Ink about the cynical nature of the multiverse, given that he rather not embraces outcode status due to his dark past, especially when it comes to the genocide timelines of his AU. Cypher Gaster. The Gaster of the Cypher Tale, Maybe's first AU, became an outcode when he first met Top Gaster, along with Ink Sans soon after. After learning about the multiverse from the two, he developed a passion for studying its nature with the help of the Script Guardian. With their friendship, Ink grows fond of learning to perform tasks without relying on his ink powers. He, like Top Gaster, sees him as a part of his family as well. Error Sans. Though they have no canon relationship, he's often been depicted with the self-proclaimed purger of the multiverse. It was due to their conflicted views of the multiverse itself that they're often at odds with each other. Ink claims that the multiverse is perfect the way it is, while Error views it as an abomination. Okay. I like Ink. Alright, he's my favorite character. Alright? I don't really like how he can sometimes be a jerk. I guess it's perfectly natural because he has to rely on stupid vials to keep his emotions in line, but still, it's rather odd. In a lot of articles, Ink is mostly kind. In the series, you guys remember the series where they all have to fight Ink? Ink is mostly nice. When he wants to be. Maybe. I don't know. But, anyways, I still have a bit of time. I might as well read about PJ. Read about him both in one video. Paper Jam Sans. Yeah, Paper Jam is another personal favorite of mine. I don't know why, but I freaking love this character. Yeah, I really like Paper Jam. I think he's awesome. One of my favorite Sanses in the entire Undertale universe. So, Paper Jam is a ship child of an interpretation of Ink and Error, created by Seven Good Angel. He was born as a result of the countless battles between the two outcodes. He's now wandering throughout the multiverse. Wait, so Error and Ink are both outcodes? What? No. Dude. No. What? Okay. Okay, so biography. Once they fully formed from the remains of an alternate error's scattered strings and an alternate ink's leftover piles of ink scattered about the multiverse, which took a process of about 3 years, Paper Jam started to walk through to see where they ended up at. Eventually, they find the two at the end of the battle, where the Protector's body was scattered all over the place and the Destroyer was about to do one more strike. Paper screamed. What else were they supposed to do? The Destroyer noticed them and felt an odd connection, which the Protector did as well, and he really didn't like how that felt within him. He panicked and shouted at Paper, calling them a mistake and an abomination that shouldn't have existed before disappearing. Paper was traumatized by seeing the Protector's body all over the place, even though the Protector could easily fix himself right back up, which he did, and it still didn't calm Paper down until several hours later. However, the Protector wasn't a good parent. While Paper was new to him, the Protector gave plentiful attention to him and showed him everything he could. However, once something new appeared, his attention on Paper shot down. It wasn't like he forgot about them, it's just that he was easily distracted and would soon return to obsessing over Paper. Eventually, Paper noticed this trend and started to dislike and became numb to various holiday events that the Protector showed them in the past for unknown reasons. Even their own birthday, cause they're the only ones that fully remember it. Eventually, Paper was sick of the Protector and decided to leave him to find their own purpose. For 8 years, they traversed their section of the Anti-Void, slowly seeing it shift to something that suited him more. As you may know, sectors of the Anti-Void are claimed by those who first stumbled into them and slowly change based upon the personality and several other factors of this claimer. So as examples, Destroyers is an empty white void, and the Protectors is reminiscent of the Universe Ink Sands' Anti-Void, with scattered papers representing the AUs. Paper's section has developed into a maze of paintings on white walls, making it almost impossible to navigate on one's own. Note, Era the Destroyer and Ink the Protector's story is forever changing as well, since they are not directly the same as their canon counterparts. The Destroyer, while calling PJ a mistake and hated him, cause he kinda doesn't like the idea PJ exists, just wants to do things exactly like how their canon counterparts do things. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, this is just a note from the creator. I don't think I'm gonna read that. Okay, so appearance. Early years. His typical outfit during this era was a jacket, shirt, shorts, leggings, and his usual scarf. The jacket was mainly blue that faded to black with splotches of ink, with a V-neck magenta t-shirt underneath. The shorts were also black and blue, and his leggings were orange with black ink dashes. He always had his usual purple side pouch on him, as well as his light beige scarf that was stained in cyan, magenta, and yellow. He occasionally formed feet sometimes, and he would try to mimic the color of his scarf with the simplistic sandal-like shoe he made. Self-discovery. After a more self-discovery point in his life, he changed his look somewhat to fit more of the area he was living in. His color scheme still is around CMYK, but now he wears a sweatshirt, capris, and his usual scarf. The sweatshirt is magenta with smaller details and darker shades that sometimes swirl with other colors like yellow and cyan with a deep V-neck. The left sleeve hangs loosely while he normally pulled up his other sleeve to his elbow. The sweatshirt is also fairly long, so he gathers up a part on his left side to give an asymmetrical effect. His pants are now like a genie or bubble cypress that are all blue, which occasionally have specks of other colors in them. His scarf is now more ripped up than before, with his left side not having much scarf to hang from his shoulder anymore. He still carries a purple pouch that sits to his left side, and it doesn't bother making feet at all. Eye guide. His left eye shape depends on the mood he is in. Star equals happy, content, thrilled. Thrilled if it gets larger. The circle equals frightened. The tear equals sad. The diamond equals his default shape, anger. The hourglass equals thought. The rhombus equals confused. Heart equals love, romantic or platonic. Also includes family and friends. Personality. Now, I think it's the personality that makes him stick out to me. He is mostly a jerk to anyone that he doesn't really know and keeps up that shell pretty well. If you are able to break it, though, he is really just like a big kid. Not growing up like normal beings, he has yet to learn a lot about other worlds due to being alone for so long. There are only a small group of beings that he ever really shows his emotions to. However, he will do anything to prove to others that he is not a mistake, especially anything to prove to Error about it. Even though he dislikes the Destroyer, there is a part of him that wants to prove him wrong and show him that he can do something right. But this sort of wraps a little to a better mentality for PJ when he meets Omni and sticks around in their world for a long while. Abilities. He's nowhere as powerful as the Outcode that inadvertently brought about his existence, but does have a few tricks. Ink strings. He uses those as a means of escape. Shield manipulation. Can control shields with his inks. AU hop. He can travel throughout the multiverse. Semi-creation. Can create an object out of ink, though said object tends to be unstable. Semi-timeline destruction. Can destroy timelines of AUs and only those timelines. Okay, so that was PJ. I think the part about the claiming sectors of the anti-void part kind of confused me, because I thought the anti-void from Error's story, which I might read in another vlog, I thought the anti-void was all errors, and so there are apparently different sectors of the anti-void. I didn't really know that. He was in there for 8 freaking years, bro. I don't really know who Omni is, though. I may have to do a bit more research about that. But yeah, that was both Ink and PJ's story. To be honest, I am so happy that I could do both of those characters in this vlog, because I did not know who to choose. I could not for the life of me remember who to choose. So, yeah, I'm gonna end this vlog here. I'm wondering, I turned on the comments back on earlier before recording this, so I really, really, really hope to God that this works. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna be sad. I'm actually gonna cry, bro. I'm actually gonna cry. I'm not kidding. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Goodbye, everybody.